Buffalo Bills are gearing up for what could be one of the defining moments of their early season. Thursday night football, prime time under the lights, facing a bitter division rival, the Miami Dolphins. And let's be honest, this matchup has all the makings of a statement game. A chance for the Bills to bury a struggling Miami team and remind the league exactly who's running the AFC East. This isn't just about one win. It's about setting the tone. Now, Buffalo comes into this game riding high, undefeated through 2 weeks after taking down the Ravens and the Jets. The Dolphins? The total opposite. They're 0-2, reeling after losses to the Colts and Patriots, and their season is already starting to spiral. We're only heading into Week 3, and there are already rumblings about whether Mike McDaniel survives the week. Yeah, it's that bad. Players-only meetings after the first game of the season? Finger-pointing in the locker room? When that kind of noise starts this early, it's a clear sign the wheels might be coming off. And for Bills Mafia, this is an opportunity to be the final push off the cliff. The game goes down at Highmark Stadium on Thursday night, under the lights in Orchard Park. The crowd's going to be electric. You already know Bills fans bring the noise, but for this game, it might be a little extra. The Dolphins have a history of struggling with procedural penalties, and they've looked especially sloppy so far this season. False starts, delay of game, illegal shifts, they're shooting themselves in the foot. In an environment like Buffalo, where the crowd is relentless, those little mistakes can turn into major momentum swings. Let's talk about the history here. This will be the 124th all-time meeting between Buffalo and Miami. And while the all-time record still leans slightly toward the Dolphins, recent history has been all Bills. Buffalo has won the last 6 straight, 13 of the last 14, 15 of the last 17. This isn't a rivalry right now. It's a one-sided beatdown. And the way Miami's been playing, that trend is looking more likely to continue. Now, let's break this down from the top, starting with Miami's head coach and quarterback. Mike McDaniel is in his 4th year, and while he made the playoffs in his first 2 seasons, things have not looked good lately. The Dolphins finished 8-9 last year, and now they're winless heading into a brutal short-week road game. The pressure's on, and the fact that their next game isn't until Monday night, that gives Miami ownership a perfect window to fire him if things go south on Thursday. That's the level of tension we're dealing with. Tua Tagovailoa remains the starter under center, but his numbers through 2 games are shaky, to say the least. On paper, 73% completion sounds solid. But the underlying metrics? Yikes. He's got 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. His turnover-worthy throw rate is over 7%, highest in the league. And he's getting sacked on over half the pressures he's faced. Let me put that into perspective. A league average quarterback might be sacked on 15 to 20% of pressures. Tua's sitting at over 53%. That's catastrophic. It's clear something's off. His time to throw is up. His first read percentage is way down, meaning he's holding onto the ball longer and not seeing the field as quickly. That's not the rhythm and timing Tua we've seen in the past. And when you start making him go through progressions, move off his spot, and throw under duress, his limitations show. He doesn't have elite arm strength. He's not mobile enough to extend plays. So if you can get him uncomfortable early, the Dolphins' offense can fall apart fast. And right now, it feels like their entire offensive identity is in limbo. Through 2 games, Miami has the highest pass rate in the league, over 70%. That's not balance. That's desperation. They're barely running the football, and when they do, it's mostly through one man, Devon Achane. This kid's fast, explosive, and dynamic. But he's also small, and he's already had durability issues. He's leading the team in carries and targets. Basically, the entire offense is running through a guy who isn't built to take a high-volume workload. At wide receiver, we know the names. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, elite speed, game-breaking ability. But even those 2 haven't looked like their usual selves through the first 2 weeks. The new slot man, Malik Washington, has flashed some potential. But again, this offense has only found the end zone on 1 red zone trip so far. 1 touchdown in 4 red zone visits. That's 30th in the NFL. For all that speed and talent, they can't finish drives. That's not just execution. It's scheme, it's identity, and it's coaching. Then there's the offensive line, which is flat out decimated. Injuries have forced them to go deep into their depth chart. Their right guard and right tackle are both on injured reserve. They're starting a second-year left tackle, a rookie left guard who's struggled mightily, and potentially a backup center who wasn't even practicing earlier this week. At right guard, they've got a converted tackle. At right tackle, a guy who was supposed to be a depth piece. It's patchwork, and against this Bills front seven, that could be a disaster waiting to happen. Buffalo's defense needs to do two things to dominate. Number one, get Tua off schedule. That means pressure, disguise coverages, and taking away his first read. Make him hesitate. Make him uncomfortable. And number two, limit Devon Achane. He's the one player in this offense who's been consistently dangerous, both on the ground and through the air. You take him away, and Miami's left scrambling. And let's not forget the wild card in all of this, Bills Mafia. This game isn't just at home. It's under the lights, on a short week, with a divisional rival imploding in real time. Miami has procedural issues even when things are calm. Throw them into a hornet's nest like Buffalo on a Thursday night. That's when the false starts and delay of games start stacking up. That's when the panic sets in. That's when the season starts slipping away. The Dolphins look like a team searching for answers, but the Bills? They look like a team ready to deliver a knockout punch. This is where you bury a division rival. Not in December. Right now. Week 3. National stage. No excuses. So if the first half of this breakdown is all about what the Bills defense needs to do to wreck the Dolphins offense, the second half flips the script, and it's just as important. Because even with Miami's struggles, this team still has enough talent on defense to be disruptive if you let them. That's the key phrase, if you let them. The Bills offense can't just show up expecting Miami to roll over. This defense may be battered and confused, but it's still got teeth. And if Buffalo wants to keep this momentum going, they need to come out and dictate the terms from the very first snap. Let's start with the big picture. Through 2 games, Miami is giving up 33 points per game. Not just once, not just a fluke. Exactly 33 points in both games. That's tied for second worst in the league. Dead last in expected points added per play. Dead last in EPA per pass. That's not just bad. It's historically awful. This is a defense that's been shredded in back-to-back weeks. Daniel Jones torched them. Drake May lit them up. And now they've got to face Josh Allen on a short week on the road in one of the most hostile stadiums in football. The table is set for Buffalo to feast. But it's not just about talent gaps. It's about execution. Because Miami's defense still features a few players who can flip the script in an instant. Start up front, where they've actually built a strong defensive line rotation. Zach Sealer is a beast. Underrated, violent, consistent. He's a problem in both the run and pass game, and he just got paid for a reason. Kenneth Grant is a massive, athletic rookie who flashes power and explosiveness. And while Jordan Phillips is still finding his footing, he gives them a big-bodied rotational piece. This is not a defensive line you can sleepwalk through. They've got enough up front to make things difficult if you're not sharp. And then there's the edge rushers. This group, on paper, is probably the most dangerous unit on the team. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb are finally back from injury, and while they're still getting their legs under them, the potential is real. Both of those guys can win off the edge with speed and power. Then you throw in rookie Chop Robinson, who's raw but ridiculously explosive, and you got a trio that can cause real issues if you let them tee off. Add in the veteran presence of Matthew Judon, another guy who knows how to get home, and suddenly you're looking at a pass rushing group that can absolutely ruin a drive. That's why the offensive line is going to be critical. The Bills have been solid in protection so far this season. Not elite, but good enough. But this matchup isn't about just surviving. It's about neutralizing Miami's best group. And when you throw in the fact that the Dolphins are blitzing over 40% of the time, 4th most in the league, that pressure can come from anywhere. It's not just about winning one-on-one battles. It's about communication, identifying blitzers pre-snap, adjusting protections, and making sure Josh Allen has the time to operate. Because if you give him time against this secondary, it's over. And that's really where the game swings. Miami's secondary is in shambles. It's a mix of injuries, poor depth, and guys playing out of position. Rasul Douglas is now one of their starting corners. He's got experience, but he lacks the athleticism to hang with elite receivers. Jack Jones is on the other side, talented but unpredictable. Jason Marshall, a rookie, is playing slot corner despite not having played there in college. It's a patchwork unit that hasn't played enough snaps together, and a lack of chemistry is showing. They've allowed explosive plays, missed assignments, and failed to communicate on basic coverage rotations. Add to that the fact that their safeties are a major question mark, and you've got a secondary that is just begging to be tested. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a legitimate star when healthy, but even he can't erase all the mistakes happening around him. And his partner? Could be Ashton Davis, could be a rookie in Dante Trader. Either way, it's not a pairing that should scare anyone. Now, when it comes to red zone execution, this is the moment where the Bills can truly separate. Miami is allowing a touchdown on 60% of red zone trips. Not great, but here's the thing. Buffalo has been too inconsistent inside the 20 in recent years. That needs to change in this game. No settling for field goals. No empty trips. When you get down there, you got to finish. Because every time you do, it not only puts points on the board, it drains a little more life out of that Dolphins sideline. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. In what is quickly turning into the most talked about rivalry moment of the season, Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel has reportedly taken a thinly veiled jab at the Buffalo Bills just days before their highly anticipated matchup. Sources close to the team suggest McDaniel didn't hold back during a press conference, and insiders are already saying that the comments have stirred the waters in ways few expected. The Dolphins and Bills have long been fierce competitors in the AFC East, but McDaniel's remarks appear to go beyond the usual pregame banter. While he officially claimed he was motivating his players, whispers from the press room hint at a more pointed critique. We know what kind of team we're up against, but let's just say there are weaknesses even in the so-called powerhouses, McDaniel allegedly said, according to multiple insiders who attended the session. The comment, cryptic as it may seem, was enough to ignite the social media sphere, with fans of both teams dissecting every word. Buffalo's locker room, unsurprisingly, hasn't taken the comments lightly. Sources indicate that Bills players are fired up and viewing McDaniel's words as a challenge. Team leadership is reportedly emphasizing focus and discipline, but there's a buzz that some veterans are quietly planning to make a statement on the field. The timing couldn't be more dramatic. The Dolphins are riding a streak of solid performances, and the Bills, never ones to be underestimated, are hungry to reclaim dominance in the division. NFL insiders are already speculating that McDaniel's comments could backfire, or perhaps serve as the perfect psychological edge. Analysts point out that Miami has a history of thriving under pressure, and McDaniel is known for his unorthodox strategies. But poking the Bills in such a public way, that's a risk even seasoned coaches rarely take. Some suggest this could escalate into a war of words, with media coverage reaching a fever pitch leading up to kickoff. As the countdown to the game continues, all eyes are on both locker rooms. Fans are eagerly awaiting whether McDaniel's bold words will spark fireworks on the field or fizzle out in the end. One thing is certain, the rivalry just got a little more intense, and no one is sleeping on what promises to be a clash full of drama, skill, and perhaps a touch of revenge. In the NFL, every comment counts, and this one might echo for weeks. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.